This episode of the Two Planker podcast is sponsored by Line Skis. Founded in 1995 with a mission to grow and rejuvenate skiing, Line has spent the last 25 years skiing the wrong way and having fun while doing it. Whether it's the playful Line Blend or the Tom Wallish Pro, the lightweight Vision Collection or the cutting edge Blade, Line offers products that you can't find anywhere else. Be sure to check them out at lineskis.com or your local ski shop to get a pair for this season. All right, everyone. Today on the show, we have Einars Lansmanis coming all the way from Latvia, and he's representing his crew Skilluminati. This episode was actually recorded over a month ago at this point, but he's okay with waiting because him and his crew took 6 years to release their most recent film, Outta. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, go check it out on New Schoolers because we spent a long time talking about it in this episode. As always, if you like the show, be sure to subscribe and give us a rating. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at twoplankerpod to stay up to date on everything we're up to. If you want some free stickers, just let me know because we have a bunch of those left over. And that is it. We have a little Latvian music for the intro. Einar sent it over to me because one of his buddies made it. So, hope you enjoy it. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Einars Lansmanis. I'm from Latvia, and I'm a part-time freestyle skier and a ski coach, and I'm working in this cool facility named the Spot Center here in Riga, Latvia, the capital city of Latvia. And we have like this extreme sports center with like trampolines and skate parks in it. And I'm the director and I'm managing it. And in the spare time and also like organizing some events. I'm working with Latvian Ski Association. So I'm organizing like ski competition, snowboard competition, some like national team like trips, like competition and training trips to other places, other countries. And together with our friends, we have this freestyle skiing crew and filmmaking crew. It's called Skilluminati. Already almost like 11 years already we're doing this, like making some ski movies and skiing and just having fun and developing some interesting projects. Like we have also like our own free ski school called Elementary Free Ski School here in Latvia. We're also going abroad and doing some camps and teaching kids how to do some tricks. And we've been also producing some ski movies here in Latvia and all around Baltics, actually, like Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia, like finding some cool spots and trying to make some cool shots.
So awesome. Yeah. So before we like get into all the stuff that you're involved with, maybe tell everybody a little bit of background about where you grew up and what it was like growing up in Latvia and skiing.
Well, yeah, I'm from Riga, which is the capital city. I'm born here and basically like spend my whole life here in the school and doing some trainings. But my mother, she's from the eastern part of Latvia, which is called. We have like 4 regions in Latvia, which is Kurzeme, Zemgale, Vidzeme, and Latgale. That's like 4 parts of Latvia, and she comes from this Latgale part. So when I was a kid, I was spending a lot of time there in my countryside. When I was like 5 years old, my dad just asked me if I would like to like participate or get in trainings of ski racing. So I didn't like know anything about that, but I said, yes, let's go, let's do it. So since age of 5, I started to do some ski racing trainings. And that was my like basic sport. And I was pretty serious about it, like a little kid, but competing in competitions, going to the camps abroad. And so like spend a lot of time in these like ski trainings and camps and competitions. Also doing like participating and doing a lot of other sports, and sport has been a big part of my life, like ever since I was a kid. Living in Latvia, also traveling all around the world, like with alpine skiing, ski racing. I have been in many places, like raced a lot of competitions, also like world championships. When I was 18, I got in Latvian national team, which was a little team with some athletes, but none of us was like real professional skiers, in sense of we didn't earn money from skiing. We just spend a lot of time and spend a lot of money into skiing and then trainings, and the association just gathered the best skiers and made a team, and we went to Ora in 2007 to World Championships. After that, in 2009, I also went to Val d'Isère in France, the next World Championships, and also did a lot of FIS competitions, and traveled to Canada for some competitions, and even Chile and China, and like was pretty cool time to just ski around and do these competitions. And I got in a big accident like straight after this 2009 World Championships. Like year later, I got in a big accident, which didn't allow me to ski for like 3 years, and crushed my dreams of becoming a real professional alpine skier, or just to get like on the top level of ski racing. And also like my big love for skiing also was freestyle skiing since age of like 15, 16. Also, when I was a little kid, I was usually trying to find some side booters on the sides of the slopes, and then try to learn some 360s and then just jumps, which were not like my coaches were not so happy about that. They didn't allow us to do some tricks. They were really strict with like training in the gates and stuff. But I was always like interested in to do some tricks, and then going off the course into backcountry and stuff like that. But yeah, so when I was like 16, I got my first freestyle skis, and I was doing some freestyle skiing in the spare time, just like a hobby. And then when I had this big accident, a big crash, then after that, I realized that I have more time to spend in freestyle skiing. I couldn't ski myself, but I could start to organize competition, do some events, and also help my friends with filming the movie. And then when I got a little bit better, I could jump into freestyle skiing, do some also some shots together with my crew, and was really nice. So basically, yeah, been my whole life here in Latvia, traveling a lot abroad, but always lived here and grew up here, did everything here.
Yeah. And so who were some of your ski influences when you were growing up? Because you were like early 2000s when you were like getting into freestyle skiing. So were you watching like Simon Dumont and all those guys, or did you have Latvian skiers that you were looking up to?
Yeah, for sure. The like the major ski stars of the world, like Simon Dumont, Tanner Hall, and those guys were like big influences. We were watching with my brother. He's also a freestyle skier, and we were watching some competitions and the ski movies, and always looked up to these like big stars of ski world. But before I got into freestyle skiing and really like started to watch the movies and watch the competition, I was more into alpine skiing. And before that, my biggest influence, I had this like poster on the wall of Alberto Tomba, the famous Italian ski racer. He was like a badass ski racer, did some like partying in between the competitions, and he had some some like pretty badass like this vibe around him, how he
Yeah.
looked, how he acted and stuff like that. So he was like a big influence to me. But like usually when people ask me if I have some influence in skiing and where do I look, like what style do I prefer, I usually say that like it's better to just find your own path, find your own style, like try to be yourself, of course, more than trying to just imitate somebody else. But of course, it's very inspiring to just see some other people do some amazing stuff, and do some new tricks, and see the big mountains, because here in Latvia it's almost flat everything. It's just the little hills and some holes. Because I remember there was this one Austrian guy, he came to Latvia. That's just a story which I heard from my father, because he knew this guy, and he came to Latvia from Austria, and my father told him, yeah, we are also skiing here in Latvia. There's a lot of like ski places like with ski lifts and stuff. And he's like, oh really? where do you ski? Please show me. And so he showed him one of the places where we have the best ski slope, which is like 400 meters long, and the height difference is 85 meters, like the vertical drop. And and this Austrian guy, he's like, yeah, you Latvians, you seem to build like a ski lift in every hole you have there. So he said that we don't have mountains, we have holes instead.
Yeah.
So because usually it is like when you arrive at the local ski resort or ski hill, it's not like you're at the parking lot and you can see the hill, like, you know, going up there, but the parking lot is on top of the hill, and you usually go down, like from the parking lot down in the hole, because yeah, some of the places they're like the old river banks, you know, like the river is floating here, and so the banks are like super steep and high, and so the skiing happens on these like old river banks.
Yeah. And do you guys get like a lot of snow in the winter, or because how do you do urban if it's like
Yeah, well, this winter was exception. Like usually, like once in 10 years, we have a very good winter, like 3 months with snow, maybe up to like 50, 60 centimeters of snow in the cities. So that's like the best scenario. But usually it snows, like heavy snow for us means it's like 20, 25 centimeters. I'm not sure how much. It's like maybe 1 feet
yeah.
maximum. and yeah, but it's usually like it snows, and the next day or after like 2 3 days it all melts down, so we have to be very fast. We have to go very like fast for the spot, and there is some like colder places where the snow stays below for a little bit longer, like near to the woods in smaller cities. But usually in the like Riga and capital city, the snow melts away very fast. And like last year we had one snowfall, not last season, but season before we had one snowfall, and but the snow didn't stay at all. Like it melted away already, like in the moment it snowed. And after that, we didn't have any snow, any cold temperatures. So the season before, none of the ski resorts could open the hills up, and they couldn't produce the snow. But basically on the ski slopes, it's mostly man-made snow, and only some special times when it's like the last winter when it was snowing a lot of cold days, then it snows, and you can get some like powder. I couldn't say it's a powder, it's like maybe maximum than 2 feet deep and that's it.
Wow. Yeah. And so for the background for all the listeners, so I reached out to you guys on Instagram so we could talk about Oda, the ski movie that you guys made. But before we get into the movie, so when did you guys all join up with each other and form Skilluminati? Were you guys friends when you were younger?
Well, yeah, some of us we were friends, and some of us like got to know each other just before we like got together and made this the first project, first movie. Basically we are seven, like the basic crew is 7 guys. That's me, my brother, who is Einars Lansmanis. He has all also been like skiing in some World Cups in freestyle skiing and World Championships and so on. And so yeah, we're brothers. Then there this guy Reinis Stabinch, who is a really good skier. He has a really good style, one of the best styles in Baltics, and he was also into alpine skiing, so we knew him already before when we were little kids, basically. Then there is Kaspars Ozoliņš, who is coming from Cēsis, from another city, which is one of the best cities for like urban skiing, because it has a lot of like hills, and in the city like streets on the hills, and there's some nice spots over there. There's also like some ski resorts around the city with some snow parks and stuff like that. And he was also one of the first Latvian skiers who went in the streets, like because he started to film some streets before Skilluminati, and then we got to know him, and then we like collaborated and started to film together. So those are like 3 guys. Then we have Pauls Iklavs, who is like probably he was not anymore, but he was one of the craziest dudes like from our collective. And he was this guy who couldn't ski, but he always wanted to do some tricks. And he wasn't like skiing, from 4 years old, and then he went into alpine skiing. None of that. He was just like, he was snowboarding, BMXing, stuff like that. And then he got like a very good friend, this Reinis Stabiņš. And the Reinis Stabiņš just told him, "Hey, come on, let's go to the slopes. I will teach you how to ski. I will teach you some tricks." And he just went for like flips in the first day, and that was his like main thing, just to be crazy and creative in the spot, and always trying to do the gnarliest like drops and jumps and stuff like that. And right now he's also like professional actor. Then we have Ernest Lansmanis, who is also one of the directors of Outta. Also, always he's one of like the brains behind all of our like projects. He always has some cool ideas, different perspectives on things and stuff. And he's also an architect right now, professional. And he was like one of the initiators to make the Skilluminati and to start filming ski movies. Him and Reinis Stabiņš, they both like talked about it. It was 2010. They talked about it, and then also like told us. And then we got together basically in 2011 was our first project named Manifesto. And also I forgot to tell you that we have also, so yeah, it was me, Edis, Reinis Stabiņš, Pauls, and then Kaspars Ozoliņš and Emils Ozoliņš. Emils Ozoliņš, he has very nice style. You should check him out on Instagram. He has some really nice like edits, and he's also like a professional. He's the only guy from our crew who's taking the filming like professionally, and he's like just making some videos for companies and stuff like that. So and he's really talented in that, and you can check his videos on Instagram. He has pretty cool stuff. And didn't I forget? So one more time. So me, Edis, Kaspars, Reinis, Emils, Ernest, and Pauls. Yeah, that's 7 guys. And the interesting thing is that all of us were from like different professions. So I'm a ski coach, and I'm a sports developer manager. My brother, he's a artist, like metal designer. Then it's Ernest, who is a architect. Then we have Kaspars Ozoliņš, who is a DJ and also like graphical designer. Then it's Emils Ozoliņš, who is the videographer and making videos and then movies. Then we have Paul Siklavs, who is a professional actor, and then Reinis Stabiņš, who is how do you call this? IT specialist, not IT specialist, but programmer.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. We're coming from like different like fields, and just always that I think that helps us to just think out from the box, because we're not like in the same like room every day, all of us like sitting together and thinking about the next project. We're just coming together from our own like jobs, and then like I have this idea, I have that idea, and then we put them together and make some magic.
Yeah, definitely. And so how did you guys choose the name Skilluminati?
Yeah, well, 2010, like late 2000s, it was this like Illuminati thing, like everybody talked about it, and it was a big like mystical thing. So that was like one of the influences for the name. And then there's skiing, skiing, skill, and this Illuminati. And we were kind of like unknown guys. Also here in Latvia, we were not like popular at that time, but we felt that we can make something like special, and we can gather around us like a lot of people, a lot of supporters. And that's why we chose this like Illuminati thing. And then we just put the skiing and Skilluminati and skill and skiing together with the Illuminati. So in the end, we got the Skilluminati.
Yeah, it's
That's
perfect.
well, that's like my part of the story. Probably if you would ask some of our other crew members, they would tell you different kind of like story behind the name. But yeah, it's like basic meaning of it.
Yeah, makes sense. So what was the I mean, it's such a long project, so it might not be so easy to say, but like, what was the backstory behind Oda, and like, why did you guys want to make it, and also why did it take 6 years to make?
Well, yeah, this is a tough one. Well, we had the previous before all that we had this project called Skilluminati, which is shorter for Skilluminati, just like the 7 letters out from Skilluminati, which symbolizes also like 7 members of the crew. And the project before the Skilluminati project was more about us, and it was like a one of our big influences was the Stepped crew, and we looked up to them and their like style and their technicality in the streets, and how they put everything together, like the toughness of the like the vibe of the movie, the tough vibe of the movies. We really liked that, and this Escalamente was somewhere similar to that, like the rough and tough like Latvian ski spots, which is like usually old Soviet Union like buildings and like almost like falling apart, and there's like rusty rails and like super sketchy spots, and like that's our stuff here in Latvia, and almost no snow, and then we just try to bring some snow from some piles, and put on this on the landings on or on the entrance of the spots. And that movie was like in sense a classical street ski flick, and then after that one we thought that if we are making another movie, we should make something more than just edit some interview, next edit another interview, and then there's our sponsors, and then we end it. So we thought we should make something like more like a movie with skiing, and we should try to like go another like direction, not this classical ski movie style. So the first year after we released this last project, we didn't do anything. There was also a really bad winter, and then we just developed some ideas. And Ernest and my brothers Edis, they both told us that they would like to be the directors of the movie, so they will develop the story. And Ernest, he was writing down some like scenarios, and my brother, he was drawing up some comic. He was making comics book. And one big influence for them was the early ski movies or the mountaineering movies in the 1920s, 1930s. And those movies, which is very interesting, they were always telling like some story. There was always a story in them, like or it was about like the skiing technique, or there was something about the people who are living in the mountains, or maybe some love story in between, maybe some war scenarios in that as well. And so Ernest, he thought that maybe we should go a little bit back and look at these movies and try to take something from them, and then also put some creative things from our side, like artistic things. And so yeah, that's how the idea came up, like that we should make something different, something that's maybe never have not been done right now in the ski movie world. And yeah, that's why we chose this way. We thought that that ski movies like right now, they're pretty much the same, like always following the same patterns, like I said, there's some really nice scenery, cool shots, like the newest cameras, the biggest kickers, then the newest tricks, and it's like every year the same thing happens in all the movies basically. There is some exceptions, of course, but mostly like 80% of the movies, it's the same thing, you know, like the same patterns, different tricks, different like skis, different maybe spots, and different skiers. There's always some new skiers, of course, but the same like structure, the same structure. And that was like also a big thing for us, that we have to somehow, you know, get out from this stigma that we're in, like the ski movie stigma, that how it should look, how it should be, that we could like, because we have, which is also a big thing for us, that we don't have to follow these like strict rules, you know, and licenses and stuff like that, where we have to like, oh, we have this big deal with I don't know what kind of brand, you know, and we have to produce this movie in 1 year, and we have to show this like brand like this, and we cannot do that, and we cannot do this. So we have to strictly stay on this like pattern. And then when you're into this situation, you have to it's very hard to experiment, you know, and try new things. For us, we still had some obligations. Like we had Monster Energy as one of the sponsors for the movie, and those guys were very upset when we didn't release the movie after the second year already in the production. But somehow we managed to convince them that we need more time. And yeah, the first year we started, it started good, but like the first half of the winter was very nice, very snowy and cold temperatures. So we started to film. And then after that, it went very bad, like super warm. And the winter just, I think in 2012, it just ended like half season, just no snow anymore. And also you have to keep in mind that, like I told you, all of us were from different professions, and none of us are like professional skiers or professional filmmakers. And this project wasn't financed from like a big sponsor or from some government project or anything like that. We had like Monster Energy was helping with us with some finances, but it wasn't like enough to cover, you know, all the expenses for the project. It was like maybe, I could say like maybe 10% of all the expenses, maybe even less. I'm just talking from the head right now. And this project was our own initiative and our own finances and our own time. So you have to like, for example, Kaspars at that time, he was working in DHL, driving the bus, you know, bringing some goodies all over the places. And so usually his work started at 8 o'clock. So it means he woke up at 6, and then he had to go out from the house at 7. And for example, like night before, we would do some street skiing in the nights with like all the like things, you know, you need to do, building the spot and putting the lights and filming. And usually it then like starts at maybe 10 o'clock in the evening, and then ends like 2-3 o'clock in the night or in the morning. And then he's going home, sleeping for 2-3 hours, and then driving his bus his bus to the headquarters to pick up the stuff he needs to deliver. And similar things to all of us. Like Ernest also had to finish his bachelor's degree, then he had to finish his master's degree in architecture. I was also studying for the first, oh no, I finished my studies, I think before the project I finished my studies, but still I had to like organize competitions in the winter for freestyle skiing and snowboarding. So the weekends or the days of skiing time and the snowy days, they're the same days we have to use for organizing competitions, organizing some trainings, and at the same time we need to film something, you know, fresh for the movie. And the same story for all of us. We all have some projects, some like day-to-day works to do, and we were just trying to go like mostly in the nights, like go out in the nights, or just try to go every weekend to film something. Or if there was some competition to organize, because I'm usually trying to give like some positions in the organizing also to my friends like from Skilluminati for the judge position, or filmers, photographers, commentators, DJs. All my friends from Skilluminati, they jump in the organizing competition. And so that's one of the big struggles we were dealing with, that we just didn't have free time to, like, oh, next week it's very snowy, so we quit our jobs and go filming. It couldn't be like that. We had to still work and still do our basic things, daily things. So yeah, and then the next 2000, and so I was a little bit wrong about the dates. So the first movie we had, it was in 2011, Manifesto. Then the second one, Skilluminati, was on 2012-13 season. Then the next year we didn't film, and then afterwards we started in 2015. Mm-hmm. So that's right. And then we had like some bad winters, some better winters, but we were kind of like thinking that we're gonna be releasing the movie on 2017, but again, I think Ernest, he went. We have this like Erasmus program where when you're studying in university, and then the universities, they have some cooperations with another universities all around Europe, and he can go study abroad for half a year. That's this Erasmus program. And he went to France for half a year. So one of our main guys who was editing the most, he couldn't be with us for like half a year, so we had to postpone it for half a year. And so there was like a lot of things. But the good thing is that the movie became better and better with every year, and we grew up, like we got matured up, and so we had like new ideas, like new concepts, how we could. And the movie was changing, like I don't know how many times, but it was changing a lot. The parts, the segments were like flipping around all the time, like maybe this one should go here. Oh yeah, it's much better. No, the next like 2 months passes, and no, we should change it like that. And also like the music changed, and a lot of things changed. And I think in the end, this whole time, it made the film much better, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And how long did it take to do all of the more cinematic elements of it with the big set that you guys built? How long did that filming take?
Actually 2 nights.
Okay, yeah, because it seems like it's a pretty small set. It seems like that wouldn't take that's just all done at once, basically.
Yeah. Well, it was also really interesting how we did it. Well, the place where we did it, it's university for filmmaking, and there's like a lot of like different things which you can choose to study there, but they have this big like space for making movies, and they have like green screen, black screen, white screen, like big curtains, you can pull around, and then you can make the set there. And some of our friends, they were studying there, and the students, they can use the spaces. They can like sign up, like I'm going to use it for tomorrow from 5 till 6 and so on. And so this friend our friend, he just asked some people who are responsible about the studio if he can use it for 2 nights, and they said yes, you can use it. And then we did it like half in secrecy because it wasn't like super not legal, but he didn't tell that we're gonna film this movie with our friends. He just told that he's gonna use it for his own like studying project. So I remember that we were in the last hours of like our time, but we knew that at 6 o'clock in the morning we have to give it to the next guys who are coming to film there. and we're just filming another scene, and these guys are like standing there with their bags and cameras and everything. They're like waiting for us to finish, and we're like, okay, one more try, one more, let's make this one good. So it was it was pretty hectic and in a big rush, but somehow we managed it, and pretty happy with the result
Yeah.
as
It was
well.
I thought it turned out very, very nice. And who came up with the idea for all the different elements that would be on that set?
It was Ernest Arbus. He was like I said, he was for most of the ideas, he was like the brains behind them. And then whenever he had some ideas, he would just tell them to us, and then we would make some meetings, or just talk through to messenger and say, yeah, this is good, this is not so good, maybe we can like change it a little bit, or maybe then somebody else has an idea and throws it in, so we develop. But this was Ernest's idea to make this like a well, the first idea was to make this like an infinite, somehow an infinite, or like a space which is not like a real room, which is not a real space. So if you would see it in the movie, you couldn't recognize it, like, oh, that's a room, or oh, that's a some bar or whatever place. But it should be like some, like a magical, like a dreamy place. So we started to think what could look like that, what could we do. So we didn't have like a big budget or anything to make big set, but we had to come up with some ideas that we could develop by ourselves. So in the end, Ernest had this idea that, okay, let's make this room, because this the storyteller, which is like a ghost, he has to be in some space, and then there's going to be like things in the room which will be representing some like in the movie you can see that the window is representing the action, for example, or the bed is representing the memory, and so on. So later on, all the like ideas, they like grew around this idea of making this like a living room, basically,
Mhm.
for our storyteller.
And at any point, did you ever think, because you have a long time to think about this movie, from since 2015, did you ever think, maybe this is too artistic? Like maybe we should do something a little bit more simple, or were you guys all dedicated to doing something completely different?
Well, for sure, we had these like moments where we're thinking that, yeah, maybe we should go like some, like we should choose another like path, and try to do it simpler, like simple, not so complicated, because sometimes your ideas are crazy, but it's hard to actually make them realistic. So we had to like stick to the ground sometimes, but when we were already like 2 or 3 years in the movie, we thought that we don't have any like way back. We cannot like produce movie for 4 years and then it's like a regular movie, like always, with just some spots and some music and interviews and stuff like that. So we had this like dedication that we have to do something special. And like I say, sometimes I think that we were just squeezing out all the juice we had, like from all the shots we had, and also from this like studio work we done, and from all the ski shots we did, from all the spots we did, we were just squeezing out the last juices to make it like the best possible outcomes it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me 2 nights to watch this the first time, because it's very long, and I would always start it like right before bed, so I would have to restart it the next night. So there's a couple scenes that stand out to me, and they stood out both times I watched it. The first one is the jump over the Raga sign. Is it
Yeah.
Raga or Riga?
Riga.
Yeah, the
There's a
jump over the Riga sign. So what happened with that? Because that one was just so impressive, especially what you guys ended up doing with with the prop that then became the actual sign in real life. So what happened with that?
Well, yeah, these we have two Riga signs here in Riga. The Riga is the capital city of Latvia. One is like both of them are on the biggest like entrances of the city. One is from west side and one is from east side, I think. Yeah, and this one is from the east side, and it has always been there like for, I don't know, 40-50 years, I guess. And we were always thinking that, yeah, maybe we should try to jump over it, one day when it's gonna be a lot of snow, we should try to jump over it. And then yeah, like like usually it is with spots, you have like a couple of spots in mind, and then you remember, oh, there was this Riga sign. Okay, let's go and check it out. Let's see what we can do. And well, basically the the most important thing for that was that we have our own winch, which is a pretty good winch, which is also handmade, like DIY made, just from my brother. He's a metal designer, so he made this frame. One of our friends, he was working in this um, lawnmower workshop, so he knew like all the things about the engine and the chain and everything you need to put on the winch. So yeah, we made it ourselves, and that was a big factor because we knew that with that winch we can get enough speed, because those ladders, they're like 4.5 meters high from the ground, which is pretty high. And yeah, and this spot was in our minds for a long time. And then when the right time came, we knew that, yeah, we have to do it. And Emil's yeah, told that he wants to do it, so we let him do it, let him jump. And we spent like 2 days, each day, like 3-4 hours of filming. And Emil's hit it like, I don't know, 20, maybe 25 times. Not too much actually, but mostly like most of the time went into building the kicker and then putting on some snow on the landing, because there wasn't a lot of snow around, and the tall grass as well underneath the snow. It's hard to like dig the snow and put it on the place where you want it. And yeah, afterwards, when we were developing some ideas for this studio shoot, then I don't know who of us, but somebody came up with the idea that, oh, we should make also this Riga sign, like a small one, and then we can like edit it afterwards, and it's gonna look cool. So we did basically, yeah.
So was that one of those spots that after you did it for the rest of your life, you're just whenever you drive down the highway, you'll look at the sign and be like, "Yep, we finally did it."
Yeah, for sure. It is one of the spots. And also I like when I sometimes meet some of my other friends, and also when I was talking, I remember once when I was talking to some stranger on the ski slope, I think, and we just started to talk about skiing, and he asked me if I do like freestyle skiing, for how long I do freestyle skiing, and so on. So usually I tell also some stories about Skilluminati. And then this one time I remember, then this guy told me that, hey, you were the guys who were building this kicker before the Riga sign and jumping over it? I'm like, yeah, they were us. And he's, yes, I was driving in my car just because there's this big highway just going on the side of this like sign. And yeah, so a lot of people can check it out in the real time there.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to ask, because it's literally right next to the highway. So was anybody stopping and like saying, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" Or was it just people flying by, just looking at you?
I think somebody stopped just to take some photos and film some videos, but no police, no angry people, nothing like that.
Hmm. And so while we're talking about the police, so like in America, they're very strict about like trespassing and private property. So what's it like in Latvia? Are they more strict, more relaxed? Like how does it work when you go onto somebody's business basically and use their handrail? Like how do they react?
Well, Actually, we're not using that much like private properties. There's a lot of like public spaces with good spots. So there's not that much like private properties, and when there is some like really nice private spots, we know already that it's not worth to spend the energy to build the setup, and then you spend like 2 hours building, and then some owner comes and just calls the police on you, and then you have to leave. So we're not doing that so much. They're usually trying to be really like strategic about choosing spots, and we're thinking that, oh yeah, this could be a kick out, and that could be a really nice spot without any kickouts. And sometimes it happens that we think that, oh, this is a spot where no kickouts will be happening, and then suddenly somebody comes and calls the police, or just doesn't like what we do. But it really depends from the policemen and from people. I remember this season we went to this one rail, which it's a public spot, a public handrail, and it was really snowed in, and there is this staircase which wasn't used, like, because it was really snowed in. And on the other side of the staircase, there's like a little asphalted path, and it was cleaned out, also salted, so it doesn't slip. And we built the kicker from the other side, from like the staircase side to the rail. And somebody just called the police on us, and the police came, and I'm like telling the policeman that hey, but we're not we're not using the side where people are walking, so we're not we're using just other side. We're not messing around with this other side. And he said, no, sorry, because we have this call, we have to respond, and we have to like do something about the situation, so we cannot let you stay here. So it really depends from people and from the cops as well, because sometimes cops come and they're like, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, filming. Okay, doesn't look like you're hurting anybody or breaking anything, so you can stay and do your thing. It really depends. But like maybe you have seen this Skilluminati movie. If you haven't,
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it yet, unfortunately.
yeah, well, it's not possible actually right now to
Okay,
see it
yeah.
anymore, because it's not in the internet anymore, and it's I hope it's gonna be someday soon, because
Yeah.
we have to switch some songs and so on. So yeah, and in that movie, there was this very famous scene from that movie where our crew, I wasn't there that time, but our crew, they went to this famous spot called Sēnīte, which is in English mushroom, because this like old restaurant in between the big highway, and it looks like a mushroom a little bit. Its name, it is mushroom, Sēnīte. And it's a private property, but there is not fence around it or anything. People usually like walk through the property because it's just a straighter way. And the guys, they were starting to like build some spots, because there's really like a lot of like options where you can go and jump around. Like there's this dome roof where you can jump over and go on and then drop down. And they started to film, they started to shoot, and then this security guy came with the gun. It started to like swing the gun around like this, and you fuckers, I caught you. You were stealing my, I don't know what he thought the guys are stealing, some metal things probably, because, he heard the sound of the winch, which is going like all the time. And it's similar to some, I don't know, some instruments where you like cutting some metal or something. So he thought that they're stealing something, and he grabbed one of the guys like just like this, and he called to him and said, you're gonna have some big trouble right now. But he's speaking Russian, and I called, and then he's calling to some other guy, and the guys are trying to tell him, hey, calm down, we're just skiers, we're filming a movie here, look, we have ski boots, we have ski ears, we have like cameras around us and stuff. But he like didn't believe them and still swing the gun around, and it was really intense. that was like the most intense situation our crew was into, yeah, for sure. So there's like this kind of scenarios with some crazy Russian guys who are working there, and then there's sometimes like people just standing and applauding and really enjoying what we do.
Yeah, that is so funny. You guys got to post that video online at some point, even if it's just
For
that
sure,
clip. Yeah.
for sure, yeah.
So some of the other clips that stood out to me, um, the one with the train passing by, and then he jumps over the tracks right after the train passes. So it must have taken like a bunch of tries,
Yeah,
right, to
yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah.
time it out and get the shot perfectly.
Yeah, well, the first idea actually was to jump before the train. Yeah, but we thought that even if we would like succeed, probably they would call the cops, and it's like a big thing if you do something on the railroads, because the railroads are like the top safety priority, places, and they're really guarded. Not like guarded, but if some police sees that we're doing something on the railroads, and even in this spot, we try not to be on the railroad platform, just to hang around there. And whenever we saw that the coast is clear, we could jump over it, slide the rail and jump over it. And yeah, it took us a lot of tries to do it, like just to measure the distance and measure the timing and to start on the right time. But we had our radios, and we had our like lookouts, who were just checking when the train we knew the list of the trains, because it's like it's the train comes like once in 20 minutes or something. So we knew the schedule, and then we had some lookouts, and they were just saying that, yeah, the train is coming, and we could hit it in the right spot and go.
Mhm.
And we were pretty lucky. I think it was like maybe with fifth try or something. Of course, in the like just between the times when the train was coming, Edis was doing the spot, and he was just doing the rail without the train and doing some spins out from it and so on. And then every time when the train came, then he tried to just be on point and do it on the right time.
Mhm. And so the shot that actually ends up in the movie, that's not any movie magic. He actually timed it out
Yeah,
and hit the rail just after the train had passed by.
yeah.
Wow. And then the other shot that really stood out to me, and I'm sure you could probably guess the one I'm thinking of. It's actually there's two, but the whole scene that stood out to me was the hitting the urban rail during rush hour, during the rush hour commute. So, like, could you tell us what happened with that? Because that scene, I mean, talk about stepped influences. That felt like it was right out of a Step movie. It was just so sick.
Well, yeah, that was actually one of my ideas. No, actually, the idea was to take this famous rail, because this is like our famous circus building, which is also a really old one, and it will have this reconstruction sometime. I think not this summer, maybe next summer or afterwards, but. But we knew that they're gonna like probably take away the rails, and maybe even swipe out the building and maybe build something else there. So we knew that we have to take these rails, because these are very like famous rails in Riga city, and everybody who's living here, they know about these like rails, and who's into like some extreme sports, blading, skating, BMXing and stuff like that. So that we knew that this spot would stood out for sure. And then I had this idea that, hey, let's do it like the opposite, the opposite thing what we are doing usually, that we're waiting for those times when there's less people around, there's no police, there's like a safe time to do the spot. And I said that, hey, let's go like the opposite thing and just go in the biggest rush hour we have, like 5 o'clock in the evening, when everybody is going back home from the works. And then we thought, okay, but when then we need like a real mission, you know, like with perfect timing. We need more guys with some snow. And the thing was that there wasn't any snow around that time. We took the snow from our house. Like we in this winter time, you know, when you pile up some snow, it stays for a longer time, like in piles. So we took that snow, we threw it in trash bags. We rented out this old Volkswagen van. So we even built it a kicker from plywood and 2x4s. So we took that one as well, and we used bungee because it wasn't possible to use winch. And we had how many? We had 3 filmers. One guy, he was on the other side of the street on the balcony of this other building. And it was also really funny because this like 2-3 days before Ernest, he was just like walking by the spot and thinking about the spot, how we could film it and how we could do it. And he saw this balcony just on the other side of the street, and he thought, that would be the perfect spot for a filmer to stand and film everything what is happening on the streets on the spot. And he went in this building, went up, there was some kind of office there, and he went in the office and he said like, hey, you know, we're the students, we're filming this movie, maybe we can use your balcony for like 2-3 hours tomorrow or day after. And there was some nice women there, and they're saying, yes, for sure, you can use it, and that's no problem. And that was really funny as well. So how we got that spot. And then we had some just some lookouts, you know, because we had to clear a little bit the street, and there was some guys telling some random like people that, hey, careful, here's one guy coming with skis, don't stand there, like make some room and stuff like that. So it was really like a mission, like perfectly planned everything. But yeah, as you can see in the movie, Einars didn't succeed with sliding the whole rail. And actually this was the biggest injury of Oda. Well, while making the Oda, he not broke, but like how you call it when you like rip apart his muscle.
Oh, he like tore his muscle. Yeah.
Tore his hamstring muscle while landing on the rail there. And then after that, he stood up and tried to do another time. And then the security guard already came out from the circus house, and he told us that, no, guys, you have to finish. This is over. And we managed to ask him just for another try to do it. And yeah, he didn't succeed, but still, I think it's cool that you also show sometimes that not all the spots are like successful. Some of the spots you just cannot do, and you fall down, and maybe you have some injuries, and then you have to deal with this, like not only the physical trauma but also the mental, you know, trauma, like that haunts you after the spot that you couldn't succeed, you couldn't do it.
Yeah. I thought it was I thought the same thing actually. Like at first it's like a little bit disappointing because if he did get it, it's like surreal, you know, it's like out of an action movie basically. But it became like an honest moment afterwards when he gets in the van and you see his face and you could tell that like he, you know, people are generally disappointed that it didn't happen. But I think it was still such a great scene because it shows like what goes in to the movie, you know, like you make this big plan and like trying to get that rail in particular in 2 tries is like, you guys probably knew it wasn't going to work, right?
Well, we hope that Emios will have the skills to do it, but he said that the kicker was a little too like steep. Mm-hmm. So when he jumped from the kicker to the rail, he was too high above the rail, so it was hard to like stick to the rail basically. So that's why his ski just flew out.
Yeah.
But Emil's, that was like Emil's direction. His like best side, you know, with the left leg in front. So that's why he did the spot. But he wasn't like super happy about the spot. He was very very stressed about it before we did it. He already told us, yeah, that this rail, it's so steep, and this, like, the connection between this or basically the first kink part is very, like, with a lot of angle, and very tough on your skis when you go through over it. So we knew that it's gonna be hard, but we hoped that Emils could land it with the first try or the second try maybe.
Yeah.
And yeah, we hope that maybe we could get like maybe 5 tries or something like that before somebody comes out from like the security guard or somebody calls the police.
Yeah. And
But yeah,
so what was the
it
discussion
is how it is.
afterwards? Did you guys were you like what was the reaction from everybody else after you guys drove away and you're like, "Well, we didn't exactly land the trick."
Well, the first reaction was, I think that we were talking that we should come back, we should hit another time. But since Emils had this injury, and like, with the adrenaline rush, you can still go with your, like, even if you break something or some like bad injury happens, you have this adrenaline rush, you don't feel the pain, you can still go and try a couple of like 5-10 minutes, but afterwards, when he sit in the car and then he had to like stood up when we drove away, then he felt that this is like something big has happened to his leg, and then he went to a doctor, and then yeah, he knew that he has torn his muscle, and I think he couldn't ski for 2 months or something after that. So I think we thought that we're gonna do another try. We're gonna just start from scratch, do it another time, but and also wait for more snow to come in. So that also took a lot of time, and maybe some people were just starting to watch, why are these guys like just throwing some snow on the ground from the trash bags. But yeah, then when some time passed, then we were talking more about this like spot and what happened, and and then we thought that maybe it's not that bad that he didn't land it. Maybe it's even better. Maybe it's something different, something else, and it could give more, maybe more than if the trick would just be landed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we stayed with what we got.
Yeah. I thought I mean, there's no way you can leave that out. It was just too cool of a moment even though like it didn't go the way that you initially planned. My last the last clip that really stood out to me was the ender just because it was so cinematic, like it takes was that you that did the backflip at the end?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because it takes the shot of
yes,
you
yes, yes.
leaning over at the beginning, and then then it's a callback at the very end where you sit up and do the backflip. So where was that even shot? Because that looks like it's in like a empty warehouse or something.
Yeah, it is an empty warehouse. It's an empty an abandoned factory, and it was working from 1960s or late 60s up until 19 late 80s. I don't remember the exact names, the exact dates, but it's located in this Latgale region, which I told you about, where my mother is coming from. And also my grandmother, she was working in this factory like in the 70s, like something like that. And they were producing bricks because they have these like materials in the ground. I don't know the English name, what you call like the materials you make bricks from.
Clay.
The clay, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they have this good like clay in the ground there, so they made this big factory, and it was one of the biggest factories in Soviet Union for making these like bricks from the clay, and also like tiles for the roofs and stuff like that. So I knew this place already from my childhood because when I was visiting my countryside, and few times we were just driving by this big old factory, and Then when we started to film Oda, I told the guys that we should for sure go there and find some spots. And we were actually waiting for a big snowfall, because this place, it's crazy. We even had the idea that we could make some kind of like a street skiing competition, just gather like 4 teams of street skiers and give them like 3 days to shoot whatever they want in this place, because there's so many opportunities and like super big drops and wall rides, and like you could like make your imagination go wild there and do some cool things. But yeah, so we were waiting for a cool good time for a good snowfall, but it didn't came, and in the end there was like it was like almost like March, I think, or end of the March, and we thought, okay, maybe this is the last time we can do it before we release the film. So we just went there for 2 days. First day we spent it just building the spots out, because we were literally taking some things out from the trash, some old like um, shelves and some mattresses, and putting them together to make some kickers to go through the factory there, because there was also this other spot, not only the last scene when it was like the ender scene of the movie, but also before that, when there is Casper's going through this tunnel and then just sliding underneath this like a bridge, not a bridge, but like a platform. He's sliding on the ice, and then he's jumping through the window into the like factory, then jumping onto this platform, and then jumping off from the platform out from the window, like, and landing in snow. And that's another spot from this factory. And then this ender scene, it was shot in this big huge hangar, like where it's like the ceilings were, I don't know, 15 meters high. It was huge, and that was actually the place where they dug out the clay there. So there was a big clay pile in the middle, not in the middle, but like in one side of the big room. And since there was some water there, it was all frozen up. So like I said, we took some things from the trash and just build up a kicker. So we had already the landing. We put some snow on the landing, and also the snow was a big struggle, because we had to drive just around this factory and try to find some places where the snow didn't melt. All the snow didn't melt, like some shade parts, and also when the big trucks are cleaning out the road, they leave like on the side of the roads like these snow piles. Sorry. And we were just like putting the snow in the truck, back of the bus, like as much as we can, and then just driving back to the factory, and then taking the snow out, bringing it into this spot, and building it all up. And it was a really hard spot, I would say, because the building and the filming, and I remember it was like the second day, the end of the second day, and we knew that, okay, we have to like finish, because we have to go home, we have to pack everything up, and we have to go home. And it's like 200 kilometers to Riga from this spot, and we are really wet, because it's like a little bit, maybe it was raining, and anyways, from like digging the snow and making the spots, you get really wet, and you also sweat a little bit, and then you get wet from inside out. And we're really tired, and some of us already got a little like angry, not angry, but when you're like frustrated that, oh fuck, I want to go home, but it's taking so long, and we have to do it this, and we had to finish the spot. And then just in the end of the strip, I did some tricks on the pile, some flat tree and backflip, and tried to do some 540s as well. But in the end, the backflip, yeah, stood out. It was the best trick from me.
So, like looking at the movie yourself, what's your favorite shot or scene from the whole thing?
We had there's this one cool scene where we are in the another old factory, which is like in the center of Riga, just like on the other side of our friend's place where they have bar. So we are just hanging out a lot of times there as well. It's called Local House, and on the other side there is this like old beer factory, which is right now they demolished it because they're building some new like offices and new places, new restaurants over there. And I found this spot once in the summertime. I was just riding around the city with a bike and finding some, like usually in the summertime, riding around and checking some spots. Maybe there's some nice spot and going in some random yards and just checking out if there is any rails or drops or wall rides or something like that. So yeah, I found it because there was this like a staircase, wall, like a staircase, then a wall, and then there's also a small handrail there. And I thought, yeah, it would be cool to jump like an inwarded 180 into the wall, and then you ride back to the rail and slide it. So it was a pretty cool thing that it was. I think it was like Friday evening or Saturday evening. So there was a lot of like young people around just going to the bars. And there's another, like there was literally like 100 meters away another bar there. So some youngsters would come in with some beers and some cocktails, and they were like, "Hey, what are you doing here, guys?" And suddenly there would be like a 20 people crowd just watching us do the spot, and they're like cheering, like a little bit drunk, yeah, come on guys, let's do it. So, and I was really struggling with the spot because I couldn't get like the right angle for landing. I was always like jumping too much to the side, and when I was hitting the wall, my skis just slid out. And I thought it's gonna be super easy, like 5-6 tries, and that's it. But in the end, I got like 25 tries or something like that. So, but it was really nice because I found this spot. I had this idea, and in the end, we have a very nice. Very nice like video from this spot, like a lot of angles, and it's very artistic as well. And then another very nice like I like this like spot, and I like the result as well. It's the part where is this only Latvian song you hear in the movie. It's also a cool story because this guy who is singing in the song, and he also composed the song. His name is Harald Siemens. He's in his 60s right now, but he was also an alpine skier when he was like 16 years old back in the Soviet times. And he skied like for the national team or something like a national junior team. And then after that, he didn't ski anymore, but still he was like a skier. And I didn't knew about him anything. And only after that, Ernest, he showed me this song. He's like, when we were doing these like summer camps for movie production. Just we have like Ernest has and Emils has their summer houses. We just the whole team goes to the summer house. We take our PCs with us, and then we're editing and developing some ideas and stuff like that. And we went there, and Ernest showed me this song, and he said, "Hey, I wanted to use this song for the last project, but we didn't have like space to use it. So maybe let's use it now. It's a really cool song. It's from 70s, I think, or early 80s, Latvian rock song." And he's this Harald, he's singing about that he has the lake on top of the mountain there, and then in Latvian it's sounding a little bit better though, but yeah, it's a pretty cool song and good lyrics and good music as well, like rock. And I edited a little bit of this spot where we went, and we put the song over, and straight up it was like perfect. This song goes together with this spot, just perfect. Yeah, let's use the song. And yeah, this spot was we went me, my brother, another friend who is not skier, and he has been helping us with some spots like digging. He has been like taking some photos, but he's not a professional filmer or anything. He's just a friend who is enthusiastic with like our project and usually helping us with some stuff. And he took with him his younger brother as well. And just four guys, we went to this place. It's called um, what was it called? The Blue Mountains, I think. And it's basically ancient Latvian campsite where some people lived like 10,000 years ago, or maybe less, but some long time ago. And there's like these two hills like this, and the staircase is coming like between them like that. And I checked it out in the internet, and it looked pretty cool. We went there. Again, there was not a lot of snow, but still some snow left. And we were just filming there some like 2-3 hours, but it was pretty cool because just one camera, one skier, and that's it. And then another two guys who were helping with shaping and building the kickers. Nothing big, like one small kicker, a little in run, and then this wooden staircase. Nothing big, but in the end, this is one of like my favorite shots of the movie. And when I'm talking to some people who are not making movies or not into freestyle skiing, they're always saying that that's their favorite like scene from the whole movie. This music and this like spot where I'm just riding down alone this like little hill, like going over the staircase. And also the interesting thing is that usually like people who are not into skiing, they're always mentioning that, hey, but this crazy wooden staircase, like the craziest spot, wow, what the fuck, how could you ride it down? I'm like, hey man, it's not that, it's like the risk is not that big, and it's not that complicated, like compared to jumping over the rig sign with 900 or something like that. But usually some not skier people, they're always telling me that, yeah, this is the craziest spot of the movie, this wooden staircase where you're riding down. So that was a lot of fun as well to do it.
Yeah, and that's one of those like surreal shots where it's like, where even are you? You know, because it's just the two hills and then the stairs. So it really feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. Just it was such a surreal shot.
Yeah, we have a lot of these like places in Latvia and also around Riga where you can shoot something and it would look like it's, where the fuck is it? It's like in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of abandoned like warehouses and factories and buildings, and just not a lot of people around. And you can, I remember also once we went to Cesis, which I told you about, the city where is Kaspar's from. And just, it was in the summer, and we were there for this one promo event opening Velo pump track, you know, like pump track. And there was this guy from where was he? Hungary. He's living in Riga right now. And we went through the city, and he's like, hey, the city looks like a movie set. Nobody's like walking on the streets like, you know, in the movie set when they build like fake houses and everything. So yeah, that's what he thought. And I guess, yeah, it's a lot of places in Latvia like that. Since we don't have a lot of citizens here, we have a lot of free spaces.
Wow. That's
Opened
cool.
up spaces. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how did you guys decide that you were done filming? Like you're filming skiing for 6 years. How did you just call it and be like, yep, we're not adding any more skiing to the movie. Let's start doing the cinematic part of it.
Well, yeah, like I told you, we thought we were ending like 2016, I think, the 16-17 season. It was like the season where we thought, okay, this is it, we have enough skiing, and now we have to film during the summertime. We have to film the shots in the studio, in the cinematic shots. And that's it. We can just let it go. or put it on the screen. And that's why we stopped filming skiing. And after that, the next winters, I guess we were really into making competitions, organizing competitions. That was one of also the reasons why we couldn't film so much as well. And yeah, basically we thought that it's good enough. We have everything we need, and we just need to put more time into producing and editing and thinking about how we can not sell it, but how we can show it, and how we can push it forward, the project. Mm-hmm. So we had some like thoughts that, oh, maybe we should film a little bit more, maybe we should like film something better, then we can switch up some parts and just choose the best spots out from everything we have. But yeah, in the end we thought it's good enough for us, mm-hmm. and it should stay like that.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how big the freestyle ski scene is in Latvia, but do you think that the film was more popular in your own country or more popular internationally?
That's a good question, actually.
Like, where's most of your feedback coming from?
Probably mostly from like our own scene, like Latvian, but we don't have a lot of skiers. There's like, it's hard to tell how many active skiers we have. Usually when we organize competition, then it's around like 50-60 competitors, and then there's like some skiers who are not competing and just skiing for fun. And I'm not even sure that all the Latvian freestyle skiers have seen the movie. Probably they have, but I'm not sure about that. But there's a lot of like this like extreme sports or alternative sports community. They're all like together in some ways, because everybody knows each other, like BMXers and skaters and bladers and scooter kids and skiers, snowboarders. They're basically the same group of people, just doing their own sport, and we have a lot of like feedback from those guys who are our friends as well, like skaters and the BMXers and snowboarders, who are just like saying like some compliments and cheering for us and stuff like that. And yeah, that's also, that's like the more personal, I guess, interaction, because those people they come up to us, we meet them on the street, or we meet them at some parties or somewhere, and they just they can like express their feelings about the movie, like in more personal way. And of course it's very nice to see the comments in New Schoolers, for example, and we can finally like see what the world skiing community thinks about the movie. And that's like the one of the main goals we wanted to achieve, that we wanted to like to get the attention from the skiers, and to see their or to hear their opinion about this like way you can make ski movies like we did it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that was my other question. What was I always love to ask people that release content, like, what was your reaction to everybody's reaction? Were you just like super stoked? Did you expect people to be really excited? Like, what was your expectation? And then when people ended up really enjoying it, how did you feel?
Well, since like we are, like I told you, like 7 different personalities in Skilluminati, our opinions really like different from each another. And some of us are more pessimists, and some of us are more optimists. And sometimes you like, if you're like the one who is more pessimistic, and then there's another guy who is more optimistic, you talk, and then you can change your opinion, that you influence from the optimist, and you become a little less pessimistic, and other way around as well. So there was like a lot of, there wasn't one thing we expected. I expected, like, for example, I expected that there will be some guys who will say that, oh yeah, there's like it's a nice movie, but yeah, the tricks, you could do more tricks. You could put more skiing in. It was not enough skiing maybe and stuff like that. So there was these guys who told us like, especially from other sports, like other extreme sports, who are waiting to see more like spectacular spots and dangerous tricks and stuff like that. So there was these guys. Some very interesting was also to hear, and which was one of our goals, to get to these people who are not into extreme sports, not into skiing. They well, basically all like most of the people who watch the movie, probably they have some friends from extreme sports or alternative sports, and they know what's up, but they're not like watching edits every day, or watching some skate edits every day, or checking out what is happening on in the free skiing scene and so on. But those and so our goal was to get to these people and try to make this movie interesting for them, so to teach them about like freestyle skiing, about street skiing. And it was like one of the things we were waiting, that these people would say like, yes, this was something else, I could enjoy this. And that was what we got as well from these people, like who are not skiers or not extreme sportsmen. They told us that, some of them, they told us that yes, this was like, this made sense to me to watch it, because I could understand why are you doing it, and I could really like follow through the movie. Because if you're not so interested in the skiing, if you watch like 10 minutes of tricks, in one point you get bored. You're like, okay, I already seen this, because you cannot tell which trick is like harder or easier, or in one moment everything looks the same. And then there was another thing. We were waiting for the opinion of Ski World, and I personally thought it could go both ways. It could go this one direction, when everybody would say, or most of the peoples would say that, oh yeah, it's okay, but yeah, the skiing is not maybe at the highest level, maybe not enough spots, maybe not enough tricks or stuff like that. And it could be the other direction, that some skiers would recognize that what we wanted to tell, and what we wanted to show, that the ski movie could be not only about skiing. It could have some messages in it. It could have some story in it, and it would become something more than just a regular ski movie. And for my surprise, there was more of the skiers who watched it had this second opinion, that which was our goal, actually, to have this to hear this from other skiers, that they recognize this work, and they recognize the things which we wanted to show them, that we can turn the ski movies into something more, basically.
Mm-hmm. And how did you feel? Were you on the optimistic or pessimistic side when it was all finished?
Well, depends from the day, probably. I can wake up as a pessimist, and I can go to sleep as an optimist, and the other way around. But yeah, I'm always trying to hope for the best, or prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
sick. Yeah, so we're getting to the end here, and we didn't really get time to talk about your other responsibilities, like working with like the ski federation and your free ski school. So I'll cover that with the last question is, so what do you think the future of skiing is like in Latvia? Is it going to get better, get worse, stay the same?
Well, yeah, it all, first of all, it all depends from the climate situation, because right now we had probably 4 really bad winters. Like one was the worst one, which was the one before the last season, where we didn't like only one ski resort managed to open up because they were saving snow before like 1 year before, from season before. They piled up the snow and then put some chain, how you call these, from when you cut the trees and then you have the like
The bark, or
the
like
bark,
the
yeah.
wood chips.
Yeah, wood chips, yeah,
Yeah.
and then they cover the snow with the wood chips, and they have this special material which reflects the sun. So they saved up some snow so they could open the hill for probably 2 weekends, and then it all melted away. And then some seasons before, it was also really bad and there was no snow. So it's a really big struggle, and you can see that whenever there's like these 2-3 years without snow and with really bad seasons, the ski resorts struggle, the ski shops struggle. So the ski schools, they cannot organize trainings, you cannot make competition. And whenever you can make competition again, then you can see that there's less competitors and less kids skiing and so on. So that affects a lot. If the winters would be like the last one we had, like this year, it for sure it would develop, because somehow here in Latvia we have really big like alpine skiing scene, big for our countries, considering that we don't have any mountains. We have like 10 ski clubs with ski coaches, and they're all like fighting for some spots in the national team. And we have in last 5 years we had like 4 top 300 alpine skiers, which is pretty good for Latvia. We had also like one guy who was in top 100. He was like 61st in slalom in world standings. So and also like back in the days in Soviet Union times, there was also some good alpine skiers who were skiing for the Soviet team. So we have some good good scene here with the alpine skiing. But freestyle skiing, for potential for freestyle skiing, it's much better here in Latvia, since you don't need so much like space, so much of big mountains for building like kickers for big airs or slopestyle course. Okay, you need more for slopestyle course, but still we have some places where we could build like big parks and big kickers, and it could develop. But it all depends, I would say it all depends from the winters, from climate. If it will be good, then we will try to do everything we can to develop these sports here, and then to do some cool things. Like we have some cool ideas for different kind of competitions, and like just cultural events to get everybody together and make some fun stuff.
Yeah. Great. Yep. Well, Einars, thank you very much for coming on today. It was great to get to know you and hear about outta. It was fascinating.
Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed it, and it was nice talking to you.